Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Billionaires Club 101. Today's topic is Donald Trump. President Donald Trump. I'm going to tell you right off the jump, I'm not a supporter of Donald Trump, and I'm not a supporter of Hillary Clinton. I've seen some things in the past in regards of both of the two, especially when they're campaigning. I believe that a lot of things that Donald Trump was saying when he was campaigning was just a lot of just trying to get ahead and make people vote for him. He's he's a very strategic person, but also a lot of the things he was saying, he actually was behind what he was saying. Some of the politicians in the past would say a lot of things just to get people to vote for them, or it sounds right in the public. But I believe that Donald Trump does not have any filters. This is just who he is. But my main concern is when we're talking in regards of the United States of America, and what does that mean to everyone. Now, for me, the United States of America is the land of the free, home of the brave, freedom of speech, freedom to practice your religion as you will, no restraints on being civil to other people, but also freedom of discrimination. I want to talk to you about discrimination because there are a few groups that have been discriminated, and it's been publicly out there in the media. Now, media might put a camera on certain topics, but it's coming out of President Donald Trump's mouth. Now, some of you may have a strong opinion against what I'm saying, but it's just the reality of where we stand. There's a situation with Trump University before he became president, and part of that was some things in regards of student loans and things like that. And there was a judge going to rule about this, that, and the other. And Donald Trump came out in the media and said that that judge actually he's a Mexican or something to that effect. For those who don't understand that, you can go out and Google those facts, but that's facts. So he said something similar to he's a Mexican judge, who elected him pretty much. He doesn't deserve any credit worthiness or whatever the case may be. Now he's very persistent in regards of building this humongous wall from California to Texas. How massive could that wall actually be? The topography and the landscaping of the United States is not flat, so it's not going to be some huge skyscraper with some type of fashion statement to say, this is an eyesore. But if we're looking at a massive wall, which looks maybe like something in a prison movie, who is that going to benefit? Keep the people from Mexico or that side of the border, South America, or south of the border, from coming over. But also, we do a lot of trade. There's a lot of people who commute back and forth because of their business, because they have family, they have certain things. Does not mean that we can't go to Mexico and visit, live like how people were doing at one point in time. So there's a lot of commerce and personal effects that goes on to why people travel back and forth from Mexico to the United States and the United States to Mexico. Those things, there's certain things, but you got to understand it's just not Mexico. You have South America, Latin America, all those things are more further south. So there are other things that goes on beyond Mexico. Okay. Now this wall, you got to understand that the United States, especially I live in San Diego, California. So on the news, every now and then, what we get as far as the news reports are, they're discovering these tunnels. These tunnels being dug underground, and people are smuggling drugs underneath these tunnels. Now, why would you have to build a massive wall when they're not coming over the wall? There's currently a wall there, or a gate supervised by Border Patrol agents. Border Patrol agents are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Vehicles, helicopters, drones, and all these things. And some of the drones that they're using, I'll put a link on below of what type of sophistication of drones. If you're looking for a drone, you're able to buy one on this link, but they have access to all these things, right? So as far as Donald Trump building the wall, I think that's it's not possible. How much money would that cost the United States? Mexico said they're not paying for it, but also you have to maintain a certain structure. When you're building on any type of land, depending on where you are, in California we have earthquakes. In the deep East County of California, we have deserts where there's extreme heat in the summertime and there's very cold in the wintertime where you will see some snow, a lot of rainfall. So if there's a wall being built, if you ever go into any neighborhood if a wall's been up for a certain amount of time, you see it goes through weathering, whether it's extreme heat, water, rain, wind, all those things. So at a certain point in time, you have to put an extra coat of something, or repair here, or repair there. But this huge, massive wall is going to be subject to certain things and elements. But tell me, so I'm going to tell you exactly what my feeling is, and I hope I don't offend some of the people. And I think that for the first X amount of days of Donald Trump being president, I think he's a great businessman. I think he has done a wonderful job with his empire, bringing up his kids and them being wealthy, showing them the ropes, showing them his philosophies, and I believe those things work within his family and his company. But as for the United States of America and how people view the world, because it's a melting pot of all different countries, and if you're able to say these 7 countries, these people can't come in, people who have traveled over to those countries and didn't allow them back, that shows a level of incompetence. I'm going to use that word to the full extent. Incompetence. You have people who their parents may have immigrated through those countries. Certain things may have happened over the years. Parents that come here had kids, and those kids are now adults. Those adults are now paying taxes, being law-abiding citizens, but based on certain things that are happening over in those countries, if that's the case, we're looking at them as if they're terrorists. Okay. One of our allies that has where the terrorists came from, Saudi Arabia. We don't have all those stipulations to those that came from that country. So we're choosing certain countries, being selective on certain countries. Now, these people who are being part of that country, some were kids down there over here. Now they're adults. Now they're living civilized life like everyone else does. And for you to throw an emergency ban, and now you're going through the legal process with the Supreme Court, with how the law was written, all those things, and making certain remarks in regards of high school dropout could understand this law. So you saying the Supreme Court is incompetent? Doesn't matter what you think. So that's the problem. So what my solution is I think Congress, House of Representatives, all those departments of justice to come together, draw for impeachment for Donald Trump, have what's called an interim presidency, have a special election for qualified candidates, make it a speedy process. It doesn't have to be all through like we campaigned once before, or it can be maybe an expedited process where those candidates come to a forum, plead their case, and then certain states, because it's all about the electoral college. In the United States, we thought it was the popular vote that gets you the win. So your vote does not count. For those who want to argue with me about your vote count, it does not count. It does not count, because if you look at it, the popular vote, Hillary Clinton won. The electoral college, Donald Trump won. So the difference between the two is you have the electoral college. Each state gets a certain amount of electoral votes based on the electoral delegates for that state, right? So certain states have different electoral votes, right? So now that's what the electoral college is all about. Now the popular vote is for each individual who is voting, right? So that's the popular vote. Now if it's everyone's vote counts, that would be based off the popular vote, not the electoral vote, right? So our election is based off of the electoral college, not the popular vote. So all the delegates from those states have the right to vote on behalf of their citizens of that state will voice their opinion based on what they've got. Right? So I think the interim presidency should be for about a year, last 1 year. And I think that should consist of four people from, four top officials from the Republican Party. Not four people. So we have independents, we have Republican Democratic Party, and then I think there's the Green Party, something like that. And I think maybe 2 candidates from each one. So it'll be around 8 people, right? 8 people in charge of the interim presidency. So when there's a situation or there's a piece of business or a piece of business, if there's a subject of business or how we proceed forward and how certain laws should be proceeded by, those individuals will come together collectively based off their views from their political party and come up with a solution. Because in the past we have Republicans saying this, we have a Democratic Party saying that, and that's just a shouting match. Now the interim presidency should last for a year until they get a fill-in for Donald Trump. He's too in tune with Twitter, too in tune with what the media is saying, instead of being presidential, right? But tell me what you guys think, and if this offend any of you, this is just not what it was meant to do. It's just to say, hey, we need an interim presidency. Donald Trump needs to be impeached. All right. Go ahead to the description box below. There's some literature down at the bottom. But if you're a Donald Trump supporter, there's some shirts you can get for free if that's what you want to do. Right? Support your president. Thanks for tuning in to Billionaires Club 101. If you're a person who's looking to earn some income in your spare time, there's another link in there. It says spare time. It's spare time income. Click here. All right. I'm all about making global economic views, and if you're looking to earn some income in your spare time, click on that link. Thank you for tuning in to Billionaires Club 101. Have a great day.